20 years ago, portals connecting to other worlds appeared. These portals were known as dungeons. And as the dungeons appeared, people awakened powers known as skills. But awakening skills is rare, as only 1% of the population had awakened their skills. It didn't take long for an organization that helps those awakened to be established. The organization was known as the Adventurers Guild. And in Tokyo present time, we see a man with dark hair putting his hands on a crystal ball. Skills became a necessity when entering dungeons. But on a game-like interface, we see that Seki Iori hasn't awakened a skill, and without skills you would be crazy for trying to become an adventurer. The lady at the desk nervously asks if he is sure he wants to become an adventurer, which he responds saying yes and asks to be registered. While waiting, he overhears another person being asked the same question, to which she answered with the same answer. Our MC Seki Iori never thought that there would be someone as crazy as him, and out of nowhere comes an orange-haired man who is going to show them the ropes, as it is practically going to an early grave otherwise. Adventurers are ranked from F to S, and many veterans are stuck in the middle or C rank. While walking together outside, the girl asks, since he has no skills like her, why he would want to be an adventurer. He answers saying it's because of the money, and that he wants to chase his dreams even though he has no skills. But he has another reason that he doesn't tell her about. Our MC lives with his 15-year-old sister. Their parents abandoned them, and he has been the breadwinner of the house. And even though they are poor, they are happy. That is until he came home one day with his sister on the floor. And at the doctor, he finds out that his sister awakened a skill that's eating her body. This disease is known as skill syndrome. It's a rare disease, and it's the first case in Japan. Imagine being so lucky it becomes unlucky. As you could probably guess, there is a cure, but it is an American cure, and the medical fees would cost a lot of money. Happily continuing their talk, she says that adventurers are those who chase after their dreams, to which our MC agrees. They continue their walk in silence. They arrive, and the orange-haired man from earlier is joined by two others who look down on them because they have no skills. But this is how it is for those without skills. They introduce themselves and enter the dungeon. While entering, the MC looks over his status window. Even though it shows no skills, the MC does in fact have a skill. It's just a hidden one. His hidden skill allows him to exchange his previous life magic for skill points. You see, our MC is a reincarnator, and in his previous life he got the title of Solitary Archmage for excelling at magic. But even though he was strong, he didn't feel the same level of happiness in his previous life as he does in this life. The cost for his sister's treatment isn't something one can earn in a life of hard work. That's why he became an adventurer. But even for S-rank adventurers, making the amount he needed quickly is difficult. But with his hidden skill, Forbidden Restriction, it shouldn't be impossible. Inside the dungeon, the orange-haired man and his friends are bragging about their C-rank skills. The girl asks the MC if everything is okay because he looks down. He tells her that he's fine and tells her that she seems to be enjoying herself. She responds saying it because being an adventurer has always been her dream. So he tells her that they need to watch closely and learn, which she responded with a smile saying she will. While fighting, one of the men misses a monster, and the monster attacks the two newbies. But as it was launching itself, a pillar randomly collapsed, saving the two. At the boss gate, they gather their thoughts and enter. But when they enter, they start hearing a voice telling them that they have met certain conditions, which gets the orange-haired man excited, thinking that they are about to receive a hidden treasure. And the dungeon was nice enough to gift them an extra boss. A minotaur boss monster spawns, and the two men with the orange-haired man run for the exit. But it's locked. Yamada, one of the C-rank veteran, gets sent flying as he is hit by the boss monster's axe. The orange-haired man goes in for an attack, but because of the difference in strength, he is wide open for a counter. As the boss was about to send him to the creator, he is saved by the MC, who asks for their help because he has a plan. But Fukumoto, surprised by this, asks if they were lied to about him being skillless, which the MC responds saying he will explain later, and asks if he could buy him some time. But while they were distracted, the Minotaur was getting ready to hit them with his axe. They are saved by Hasegawa, who shoots a fireball in the monster's face. They start running, and Fukumoto asks the MC how much time he needs, and he responds saying only 3 minutes. While the others distract the boss, the MC goes to the girl Amami and asks for her help. She hesitates, but after some convincing she agrees. Minotaurs are weak to magic attacks, but their mage is too weak to fatally wound it. And since he can't use any spells because of Forbidden Restriction, the MC places his hand on her back and starts manipulating her magic circuits. She gets uncomfortable and pulls away. As she pulls away, she feels power flowing through her body. She asks our MC what he did to her, and he tells her that he just made it possible for her to use magic. In disbelief, she tells him that she doesn't have any skills, and he tells her it's okay because she has talent for magic. Because he can't use magic right now, he will have to rely on her. Fukumoto and Hisakawa are getting handled by the boss, so they ask the MC to hurry. He starts teaching her about magic and is surprised by her concentration in dire situations. He tells her to stretch out her arms and say Crimson Lotus Fireball. She does, and all that's left of the boss is a burnt corpse. She thanks him as she received the Minotaur's axe, and our MC receives a title. Outside the dungeon, the three braggers are the ones who are severely injured, while the newbies are perfectly fine. And after returning to the Adventurers Guild, their cards were taken for log analysis. This is to make sure the reward is divided equally. A man named Hamada from the General Affairs Department of the Guild returns the guild cards. But he has a few questions about the extra boss. The MC wonders if Amami will keep her promise. We see that the MC asks her to keep the fact that he helped her learn magic a secret, because if others find out they would pry and ask too many questions, and that will take time away from him making money. He is dedicated to the grind. She agrees but asks him if he would become her tutor, to which he declines, telling her that he doesn't think adventuring is a good fit for her. She tries to mask her sadness with a fake smile, but Giga Chad is unaffected. And in the present, the man asks her how she was able to land the final blow. She answers saying that the Fukumoto group had the monster at death's door. This is obviously a lie because it was the other way around. Anyway, since things are now cleared up, they are given their checks, and our MC makes 250k and Amami makes 3 million because she landed the final hit. The MC, with a pep in his step, makes his way home while thinking about rejecting the 3 million. Sitting alone in a dark room. Sounds kinda like me. Our MC is happy about making 250k, but this happiness soon goes away as he receives a picture from his sister, who is happy because she was able to eat 3 whole puddings. He gets reminded that the grind doesn't stop, so he makes up his mind to make the 500 million as quickly as he could. He leveled up in the dungeon, so he checks his status window, and because he reached level 10, he is able to summon a management fairy. He summons the fairy, but as soon as she is summoned, she lets out a loud scream. She is angry because our MC wasn't dedicated to the grind and didn't try to get his money up for the past 20 years. The MC asks her to introduce herself before scolding him. She tells him that he made her in his previous life with the goal of making himself stronger, which is why she is upset that he was a weak bum for the past 20 years. This comes as a surprise to the MC because he doesn't remember making her. But as he said that, he gets the idea that it might have happened in his dying moments. But he has no memory of those moments. All he remembers is that he got sick with an incurable disease. What is with this manhwa and diseases? The fairy tells him that she was born after his death, which gets the MC thinking that his reincarnation might not be a coincidence, and he might have been scheming something. She tells him there is no point thinking so hard about it, to which he agrees and asks her how to become stronger. It seems he is ready to dedicate himself to the grind fully. She tells him by updating the forbidden restriction he can become stronger. In confusion, he asks her if it's the same thing as exchanging points for skills. She answers saying they are very different, as she unlocks the new trade system for him. And with the trade system, he can take out any item he owned in his previous life. He asks if that means he can also get the stuff from his item box. The item box is a storage hyperspace he created in his past life, and yes, he can. But there is a fine. He can't piss her off. While looking through the items he had in his past life, he comes across the omnipotent elixir, which heals all illnesses and injuries. Basically, he unlocked God mode. Because of this, he is motivated. And the fairy shares one more news with him. So not only does he have that cheat skill, he now gets double EXP when he defeats an opponent stronger than himself. He is happy because he always wanted to grind facing off against strong opponents. With a happy expression on his face, he decides to use the forbidden restriction to its full capacity. The fairy is happy with his decision. He asks for her name, but she doesn't have one, so he names her Sphere. She accepts the name as he teases her. The fairy then starts listing a list of demands like preparing her bath, buying dessert, and having the fridge stocked with ice cream. The MC is worried about the cost, but she reminds him that she is the one that grants him access to the forbidden restriction. She leaves while saying that he will start tomorrow. Looking at his status window again, he is happy because this gives him the means to do something about his aptitude, which is at F rank. The next day, using the Adventurers Guild, he is able to join a D rank dungeon. Since he is an F rank, he is just a fill-in. He meets Takai, who introduces himself while the other members stare. But Takai is grateful because they wouldn't have been able to enter the dungeon if he hadn't joined. One of the men starts being rude, saying that F ranks don't get any loot. If only he knew that our MC is a walking cheat code. Takai tries defending our MC, but the man tells him it will be best for him as they don't give him special treatment, especially because he doesn't have any skills. The MC agrees, saying he will make up for his lack of skill. Our MC is told not to try so hard as there are 3 C ranks in the party, and one of those C rankers is a girl who doesn't look that much older than his little sister. They enter the dungeon, but the MC notices that one of the party members has a creepy look on his face. In the dungeon, the party seems to have good synergy, as our MC wonders when he will be able to join the fun. We then see as the girl is about to be attacked from behind, so he jumps in and saves her. But she tries to get him to stand down. He doesn't, and he tests out a new skill he got yesterday by using his points. Since he gets unlimited skill points, he decides to change his battle style to point-blank ranged attacks, as he uses sonic impact on the monster. They are surprised by his strength, and she questioned him on why he didn't report his skills sooner, to which he responds saying he got it recently. She is only saying this because she is concerned for him, and she thanks him for saving her life. The other group members are a little bit upset because now they have to share the loot. As they continue on, we see that the reason he didn't tell them was because they might have declined his join request. They shake hands and moved on to subjugating the dungeon. And because of the double EXP, the MC goes from level 10 to level 17. This is seriously cheating. While walking out and making plans to celebrate when they make it back to the guild, the red-haired man is stabbed in the chest, which makes the others defensive. We see that creepy face guy from earlier named Azawa betrayed them. They ask him what he thinks he is doing, and he responds saying offing people.